Hi everyone, my name is Daniel Jacob and I absolutely love cooking. Today we're going to make an allergen friendly stir fry. It's going to be for the top 8 allergies and seeds. So first we're going to start off with about a teaspoon of olive oil. Next we're going to add our salt and pepper. It's about a 2-to-1 ratio salt to pepper. Alright, we're going to let that get warm. I have my wok on medium-high heat. So the olive oil I chose today it's made by Tantillo, and it's roasted garlic, extra virgin olive oil. I prefer olive oil because the regular vegetable oils and canola oils can contain some allergies in them that I can't have, so I like olive oil. And I got the roasted garlic flavor because I like a little garlic in my foods. Alright, now that our oil is nice and hot, we're going to add our carrots in. You can use whatever vegetables you like. I'm just using the vegetables I like in mine. It's about a cup. And I've chopped them evenly, roughly even. Now we're going to add our beef. I'm using a beef round steak. We're adding these ingredients first because they're going to take the longest to cook. Next we're going to cover it. So the reason I'm using a wok today is because it helps seal in all the moisture. It allows all the foods that we're using to cook in their natural juices, so they don't evaporate, and instead they roll together and everything becomes extremely flavorful. The vegetables I have today are carrots. I have a skinned bell pepper because I personally cannot have skin. If you're on a low residue diet, it's wise to peel the skins on everything you use. And you can do that simply by steaming them, or if you're trying to do it a little quicker, you can put your oven on 350, rub them in oil. I suggest olive oil. Put them in the oven for about 10 minutes, and then when it's done, put it right into the freezer. Now do not put, if you're using a glass container to heat them up, don't put it in the freezer because the shock from extreme heat to extreme cold will shatter it. Next we're also going to use some bean sprouts. I have some snow peas and some shiitake mushrooms. And for my noodles today, I'm using a rice noodle. The type I'm using, I just heat in warm water for about 5 minutes before using the preparation. And we're just going to put them right in the wok when it's time. I just got all these ingredients from my local Asian market. It was super cheap. It was a great meal. So we want our meat, before we add the other ingredients, to be about medium rare. Right now mine's still red with a touch of brown, so we're going to cook it for just a touch longer. Medium rare is brown on the outside and red all the way through. Today we're going to be having a special guest, Michelle Jacob. She's the general manager at Gertrude in the Desert Botanical Gardens here in Tempe, Arizona. She's going to be helping us out with our sauce because traditional Asian sauces typically have a lot of soy and gluten in them. So she's going to help us out with our sauce today. Alright, so now our meat is about medium rare, so we are going to add in our bell peppers. and our snow peas. Just stir it up.
Beautiful.
So, it's real beautiful. If you'd like to see it, that's what mine looks like so far. We're going to cover it back up and allow this to steam. With stir frying, you can use frozen vegetables. I just highly recommend using fresh veggies and steaming them because it tastes so much better and it's a lot healthier for you. So that's the reason why I use fresh vegetables. If you're in a hurry, you can use frozen, but I highly recommend trying to use the fresh. So right now my bottom is pretty much completely covered in moisture and liquid, which is exactly what we want for this. Everything is cooking beautifully. It smells really good. We're waiting for our carrots to get al dente before we add our mushrooms and our bean sprouts. Here's Michelle Jacobs to talk about our sauce.
For our sauce today, Danielle has to be free of all those top 8 allergens that she is so passionately studying and learning about. So I took a tiger sauce, which is a red chili blend, and I have one that's today that is just red chili and garlic. So it's a very pure sauce, but it has a ton of heat. And we added a sugar-free syrup to it to give it the sweetness of a traditional stir fry. Stir fries typically have a nice sweet teriyaki glaze, but because we aren't working with the soys today, we're going to have more of a sweet heat. So we took this. Just so you know, as you look on the labels, your OSAs, your glucose, sucralose, those are sugars and are to be avoided if you have a sugar intolerance or an allergen. The alls are sugar alcohol. Today we use just a malitol. It's a sugar alcohol, and it will push right through your system. Your body cannot digest it properly, so it just pushes on through, kind of like Splenda. So if you're tolerant of Splenda, you should be able to use a malitol. So we use the chili and garlic paste today. To it I added, it was probably a tablespoon of chili and of tiger paste, and 2 tablespoons of syrup, a splash of red cider vinegar, of white apple vinegar, because we need to avoid the brown vinegars. The brown vinegars often have soy in them. So we used apple cider vinegar today, a white one, and little salt, little sea salt, little cracked pepper, and a splash of Danielle's garlic olive oil. We're going to check on her veggies for her. We do want them to be a nice al dente, meaning that the carrots are starting to get soft to the touch, but they're still nice and firm. The peas are starting to get a very vivid green, noting that they are almost fully cooked, and the meat is now a very light brown. To this, Danielle is going to add her mushrooms and her bean sprouts. She does love mushrooms, so she has a lot of them that she's going to put in. But typically it's equal portions, and she's using about a standard 1 cup measure for each of her veggies today.
I use shiitake mushrooms. You can use any other mushroom that you prefer. I just wanted to try something new. I've never had shiitake mushrooms before. And then come the bean sprouts.
Fold all that together. Allow it to all get into the broth, the jus that is forming in the bottom. Jus simply means the natural juice of whatever is in your pan. So our vegetable and beef jus is building. Again, the colors are beautiful. In all my years in the restaurant industry, we have learned that people eat with their eyes first. So your food needs to be visually appealing. Have you ever watched a commercial and your tongue started watering because you just needed to have that food? Well, that's the effect that we're after. So we have the brown of the mushrooms, the bright green of the peas, the orange of the carrots, with the white and the bean sprouts. Just some very beautiful things that we also know the flavors work together well to enhance the experience, because eating should be an experience.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Michelle. So now we are going to wait for our carrots to cook a little bit more, our bean sprouts and our mushrooms to cook a little bit more before we add our noodles that have been soaking in warm water as instructed on the packet. So the noodles I'm using today, this is what they look like. Just a thin rice noodle. I use rice noodles personally because I'm personally gluten intolerant. I prefer cooking with corn noodles because they cook in my...
Alright, we're back. I'm going to take a minute and show you into her pan as she lifts her lid. It has her rice noodles that are soaking. Look at that beautiful collection of color, of flavor, just an amazing array of vegetables and meat. Oh, so delicious. She's going to give it a quick stir, and everything should be ready then for us to add the sauce and then the noodles, and voila, we're done, all in under 15 minutes. Prep time probably was another 7, so easily a meal that you can have done in under 20 minutes. You can often find pre-cut carrots are what takes the longest. You can use baby carrots and cut them. You can find pre-cut. You can use the carrot chips. They're pre-cut to save the time. Danielle likes to use her cutting skills and her new knives. Her brother's got her a knife. She likes to use her tools. Danielle's now going to fold in this Sweet Heat Tiger sauce. Stir fry doesn't have a lot of sauce to it. It's kind of like a finishing sauce. It allows the natural flavors to come through, but it does add just that final touch, that glaze that completes the dish. Beautiful.
Alright, and now we are going to add our noodles. Our noodles are just al dente, which is wonderful. We love al dente noodles. Now sometimes you will wash off noodles. I don't, because washing it off immediately will stop the cooking process. I don't always want that. It also cools them off. It gets rid of all the starch on them, and sometimes you really want that starch.
You're going to be thickening it like for a soup or a broth. How are you doing on juice? Are you doing well?
Yeah.
Excellent.
The noodles are soaking up the last bits of the juice, but I still have some left, and that is the beauty of the wok. Alright. We're going to turn this off. We're going to plate it up.
You're going to put the lid on it like so for just a minute. Steam itself together while we get our plates.
While I get my plates, I'm just going to put the lid on it just to add any finishing touches in cooking. Get the nice one. Here are my bowls. We're going to get our forks. Alright, now that this is soaked for just one moment, and I have my bowls ready, we're going to take this lid off. To plate this, I'm going to use some tongs. A nice helping of noodles. I'm going to get some of these vegetables in here.
Mm-hmm. That's delicious.
These are some long noodles. I love it. I love me some long noodles. Alright. Put these up. Get some of these veggies in here.
Beautiful.
And there you have it, folks. Some beautiful stir fry. It's simple, easy, and not too expensive. I hope you enjoy. If you like this recipe, you can subscribe to my YouTube page. Every month I will be putting out a new recipe. Next month we are doing chocolate and homemade Kit Kats. You can also like my Facebook or follow me on Pinterest, and the links are below. Thank you and have a great, wonderful day.